streaming, and then we're gonna go live immediately. So be prepared, guys. So we are live. Hang on, let me see if I get me seeing and see if I can quickly change. I should have done this prior. Okay, there we go. I don't know if that helped, but we are live. Hello, for everybody who's just joining us. I moved the stream to YouTube. We were live on our parent profile on Facebook. However, we were not able to share the link out, and therefore I made the decision to just go live on YouTube. So yes, the show has. We're going to continue the show. Alicia's still. I mean, if they don't have anywhere to be, then we could go a little bit longer to give more of the content that you deserve or that I would love to give. But I will be posting the first episode up, and I might even do a watch along with it just to answer any questions or anything that we missed. So let's continue. We did have a fascinating conversation about love and what it meant, but we're moving on to now.
Yeah.
Alicia has she's catching up on song challenges. So go ahead, Alicia.
Okay, so we are on day 29, which is a song that you remember from your childhood. Okay, so this one's like, I don't even know why this is a song that I will always remember, but it's Enter the Sandman. It was just like
Metallica? Oh my god.
No, it wasn't Metallica. It was someone else. I don't even remember. It's just like those kind of songs. Like there's all these random songs that I'd always listen to. And it was every time we did road trips. So I lived in a small town and I'd go to Prince George. That's a 2-hour drive. And then my dad would have all these random songs on there. And one of them would be Enter the Sandman. Oh my gosh, reading the lyrics like afterwards, I was like, whoa, this is cool. Like it's so different from the stuff I would listen to at that age. So it's definitely like resonates with me because it felt dark. Like to a little kid, it felt like satanic music, to be honest. So
well, that's Metallica. It's the heavy metal, right?
And is it Metallica?
Yeah, it is Metallica. That is the group. Enter the Sandman is Metallica. So when you said Enter the Sandman, I was like, whoa, Metallica was part of your childhood? Yeah. That's freaking metal, bro.
I can't believe it's Metallica because I thought it was another group. But anyways,
you just made me a happy man.
Yeah, it's a fun song. It's like a good like nighttime song.
Oh yeah.
For peaceful sleep, you know?
Oh yeah.
So anyway, yeah. And then number 30. A song that reminds you of yourself. That one was a little bit hard for me. So what I did was I chose a song that I like to listen to that just resonates with me, I guess. Like that just like I can apply into my life. And that song is Good Riddance by Green Day. No. I just feel like it just tells me to slow down on life, enjoy the little things.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah. It's just, I can listen to it today and then it'll make me zone in on like the message of the song. So I think that's awesome. It's a good reminder.
Awesome. I like your list. It's great. Fantastic.
Yeah, what about you guys? What about you guys for the last one?
What's the last one? Sorry, the question? Sorry.
The last one is the song that... sorry, you guys...
Oh my god, what was the last one?
What was the explanation?
What's the title of the last one? The what's the topic of the last song? Like the question.
Yeah, that's what I asked. Yeah. It is a song that reminds you of yourself.
Ah, right. This one was hard.
Mm-hmm.
This one was hard.
Mine was mine's not even a long song too, but it's spelled R-O-N-G, Wrong, by Roy Scop. It's kind of like a it's an industrial electronic kind of song, but the lyrics is just it just makes me it's my mantra for the time being. I'm not gonna iterate the lyrics because it's just repeated throughout the song. But if you ever check it out on Spotify, R-O-N-G by Roy Scop, yeah, and then you'll know what I mean. It's explicit. It's explicit language, so I can't really say it here. That's why.
Fair.
I
appreciate that, though.
Yeah.
I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
no worries, man.
I appreciate it.
I know I'm the foul mouthed person in the group, so
Uh,
I'm always trying to censor myself.
and
Trying
and
to anyway.
and Alicia, to answer yours from mine, and I can't remember, but you know what? I was going back and I was listening to Kid Rock. Okay.
Mhm.
My acronym for my PlayStation and even for Discord, if you see it, is DWOAC, which is Devil Without a Cause. And I think that you should go back, listen to that song, and it actually is how I feel about myself. It really is. The lyrics and all that stuff. It is. Again, I cannot say any of the stuff on the stream
Yeah, it's explicit,
because
right?
it's
It's rated
explicit,
R language.
but it definitely, it's not like explicit in the wrong way. It just has like words, certain words in the lyrics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
the same for my song.
So yeah,
Cool.
but
So,
Awesome.
so basically, we both picked like bad language
yeah.
songs. Those are our songs, baby. We like the
That says a lot about you
curse
guys.
words.
Wow.
So, anyways, if you're just tuning in, we're gonna backtrack a little bit. I know that it may be a little bit of a hassle, but we did have a good discussion about relationships and love, and I wanted to make that. Actually, let's diverge a little bit because I will share that part. So let's talk about transparency in relationships and how important
Right.
that is to have when building a relationship. And Dustin, actually, before we start, I want to use us as an example. I know when I say transparency, I don't mean like saying everything and anything to your partner or your friend or whoever you have this relationship with. I mean being transparent in being comfortable enough to discuss the hard things that need to be discussed. Do you know what I mean? Like it's one of those things where if I don't like what Dustin is doing, trust me, I'm gonna tell Dustin that I don't like what he's doing. Do you know what I mean? Without knowing, I mean, I know there's gonna be consequences to that, but I would want him to voice those concerns or those consequences to me, right? Where I feel like sometimes people
Mhm.
tiptoe around things, and that's how rumors, that's how bad blood starts to be created, and why you don't like to work with this person over this person. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just think transparency is key. I'm not saying that I need to tell Dustin when it is that I went to the washroom or my bowel movements. You know, it's just like it's just talking about those important moments, right? Those four
Yeah.
moments that you can tell yourself to be a hero. You know what I mean? From Deadpool, get it? There's four moments.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I think
Dustin,
it's
yes,
five.
it's
Five
5 moments. Sorry,
moments.
5 moments.
5 moments with that Russian accent that Colossus had. Yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah. Do you agree, Dustin? I don't
5
know if you even
moments.
if you feel it. I
Well, I am the type of person that's maybe excessively transparent to the point that I have no filter. So it's easy for me to be transparent. I think there's a time and place for appropriate transparency because sometimes you may not want to discuss some of the things that may be sensitive in front of others. And that kind of, mindfulness of your surroundings is a very imperative thing. But yeah, in terms of like, for instance, business relationships and things like that, I think transparency should be the forefront, or at least the main focus in interaction. You need to be pretty much you gotta bear everything in the business relationship side of things, and not really like there are, and of course there's like good language surrounding that. You don't have to be too coarse with how you criticize someone, especially if they're doing something that you don't approve of.
Well, I
um
I think because whenever I worked, even when I worked at a Sears before it shut down, there were always rumors and stuff like that, and I was always the person that would go to the person who was said to start these rumors and be like, "Hey, what's going on? We need to discuss this because I don't think that this is healthy, and I'm being completely upfront with you. I don't think that you're representing this in the best fashion." Right? That's what I mean by I just don't like people making me look bad, or they don't have the balls to come up to me and be like, "Hey, you know, I don't like the way you're doing shit." Because there's tons of times, like in the wrestling world, even there's no like I don't like certain people, but we're transparent to the point where we could still work with each other and put on a good product for those who deserve that good product. They paid for that product, right? And I think the same thing goes for a
Mhm.
workflow or work business relations, right? Even if I don't like the person I'm working with, you still have to have that transparency, like that respect, that mutual understanding that yeah, maybe I'm not into you and you're not into me on any level, you know, but we work well with what we have going, right? So let's do that, give the good product, and then move on with our lives, right? That's what
Yeah.
I mean by transparency, right? It's not so much having a great relationship with people, it's just being
Mhm.
upfront and honest with your feelings about somebody, right? That's what I mean.
Yeah. I
So
think I think one thing that people don't realize, and I'm still like trying to figure it out because I'm like I kind of go between two of the boats, and that's like not it's not like the best way to handle things. But I feel that being transparent is is a testament to your own self-worth,
mhm.
because it's obviously going to suck in the short term. You're going to have to deal with something, you're going to have to deal with someone, you're going to have to talk about it and communicate, and it might go bad,
Mhm.
right? But that over the I don't know how to say it, but that over the aftermath of not saying anything
Mhm.
is probably much worse. The stares and the misunderstood actions and the rumors, things like that. And that actually will probably have greater impacts on you than the short term, which is to like just confront the person.
And that's what I mean by product will get hurt, right? It's overall, right? Like it's like, I mean, I'm
Well,
not.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of great examples of that over the like entertainment industry. I'm going to bring up Ant-Man. Ant-Man was one example where we had a different writer and director in the beginning of the scripting process, and then I guess the version that was written, the first draft, wasn't accepted by Disney, and I guess maybe there was a communication breakdown, believe it or not, and the guy just left. Right, he stopped. He was like, "I'm not interested. If you're not going to make my Ant-Man, I ain't making Ant-Man." And you know what I mean, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny, right? But those are that's just one example of like major business partnerships between professionals, directors, writers, screenwriters, things like that. And it happens all the time.
But
All
like
the
what
time, people are
then?
not being transparent.
But then what are you supposed to do? Like just suck it up and not talk about this, even though
That's what I
you
was
may
thinking too.
feel like this? Like I just
Like,
don't
no,
agree
I'm
with
not
that,
saying that.
right?
You got to stand up for what you believe in for sure. And if it loses you a job because you
Yeah.
disagree with the format, then so be it. But you have to own it if that's going to be
Mhm.
the case,
Mhm.
Yeah,
right?
because if he continued on, it would just be such a compromised product,
Yeah.
right? Like with that kind of stuff, you got to put your heart and soul into it. And at the end of the day, he would not be the right person to write it, because that's like his default. Like whatever came out, it's not what he actually wanted.
Yeah.
Hey William, how you doing? I'm so happy you guys found us.
Yay! Everyone's here.
How you doing,
Yeah.
William? Uh yeah, so that's what I mean by like it's just no secret that when you work with me, I mean Dustin knows me, right? I'm a driven person. I have my own stuff, but the moment that I feel like there's animosity around me, I could feel it. Don't and I want to be completely clear. The moment that it starts to happen, I do feel it. You can't hide it from me.
Mhm.
I just know because you could tell in how you first met them until now, whether it be through text or the way they interact with you or call you or
Or
whatever
what's
it may
not
be.
said.
Huh? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
it's
What's not being.
yeah, exactly. So you can't hide it from me. I could just feel these things. I've been around these type of people for so many times, so many years, and so many occasions that it's hard to hide these feelings from me because I could feel it. I feel your energy. Like it's just not. I'm just getting that out of the way. Dustin knows me. He knows my personality, right? I mean, this show could be so much more vulgar, but like Dustin and I really try to curb what it is that you see, right? It's And it's not in a bad way, it's not in a good way, or vice versa, it's whatever. It's just trying to give you the value, whatever it is that you need to see on this. And that's why it's good that Alicia says that these are not opinions that are expressed of Close Look. Because I've been with people where they're like, oh, Daniel's really, he seems negative. He doesn't know how to, he doesn't seem like he's listening. He doesn't seem to respect me, when none of that could be more wrong. I respect a lot of people. I listen. Just because I'm on my phone or I'm doing something, and it doesn't mean I'm looking at you like directly. It doesn't mean that I'm not listening, right? It's just, I feel like we're dealing with old time traditional values, and we need to change that in order to go forward, right? I
Yeah, but
think that
that's
that's
by
the
building familiarity. If a person doesn't know that about you, then they're just going to make assumptions and be like, "That guy's a dick," right? And what can we do about that? That's people's upbringing. You know what I mean? And like you
but
said,
that's what I mean,
old
traditional
traditional
value.
values.
And it's one of those things where, like, you see more entrepreneurship, people working for themselves, because I do feel like a lot of them are like me, or they're like some, where they just can't seem to find people that they're good working with. Like, especially, they're stuck in traditional ways. This has to be this
Mhm.
way, when there is a more viable and more money, or whatever it may be, in this other way, right? And I feel like sometimes they feel threatened because you are able to do what they do, but then also do other things to, that it exceeds what anyways they originally thought that you could do. I don't know. I just, it's one of those things. Dustin knows I'm sarcastic. He knows I use dark humor. He knows that, it's just
Most of the things that Dan says he doesn't mean, but he says it as a
as a joke.
a quip, as a joke.
And it's so funny when
But
people will
because it's
come
deadpan
back like
delivery,
weeks
right?
later. People will come back weeks later and be like, "Hey, man, you really hurt my feeling." Like, when did I say that? Because I don't. It doesn't resonate. It just does. It's so small. The thing is, it's so small in my day, 24 hours, 48 hours, my whole week. That is so minute in my time here on Earth, that I just, like, I don't care. It's just, people call me names, people like me,
Mhm.
hate me, it's whatever.
Interesting.
But again, it's so small. Our time on this earth is so small. If I hang on that, oh, you didn't like that I walked funny, whatever. I'm just using I don't know, that's a stupid example.
That
But
would be so sad if
but
someone was like,
You
I
look
don't
like an
know.
ostrich.
yeah, but it's so small. Like, it's just, you got so much else to live for.
But the other
Just
thing is,
let it
if
go.
someone comes to you, that's their attempt at being transparent, but maybe the timing is has just made it a little bit obsolete at that point. Like,
Yeah,
maybe if someone had come to you in the moment
yeah.
and you're like, oh, yeah, I do remember saying that. Like, I don't know. It's like, that's where I see the issue, because now that person was probably thinking about it
Well,
when you
then
weren't.
when does it become? It's not my fault at that point. Like, I think that there should be a grace period. Like, I think if you brought it back to me in a day or so, sure, okay, let's discuss
Mm-hmm.
this. I'm sorry, like, I didn't mean it this way. Fine. But if you hold on to that for like 3 weeks, I'm sorry, but that's not my problem anymore. Like, it's just not. Like, I just don't care. There's other things that I could be doing, or there's other things that we should be doing. And that's where I sit. And I, agree or don't agree. I don't give a flying poop.
I don't give a flying fudge-tastic extravaganza. Anyway, so no, I get you, man. Everybody has their own perceptions of other people's behaviors. If you are complete strangers, then yes, there will always be some sort of misunderstanding, unless it's being transparent, it's being properly communicated, and it's positive language versus negative language.
I also want to say that, because we're going back to relationships, that the one thing that did draw me to my ex wife was, and there's the best quality, is that she was straightforward. Like, there was no games, there was no diddle daddling, there was no nothing. She didn't hide anything about what she wanted in life, or whatever, at that time. And I appreciate that. like wholeheartedly. It's funny because the more straight you are with me, the better I work with those people because I know where I stand with them, right? Like Dustin, right? Dustin, I know where I stand with Dustin because he's straight with me,
What
even
about
if he
me?
knows that I hate it.
I feel like I'm straight.
Well, it's hard to because I don't see you all the time, so I don't I try not to offend you, and even then I still don't know if I do offend you. I have no clue. It says
Do I have a good poker face? Is that why?
I don't know.
I'm just kidding.
I don't
Okay,
know.
I'm just being an ass, but
It's fine. We've sworn way too
Anyways.
many times during this stream. It's almost rated R at this point.
I
What's the swear
haven't.
limit before it becomes breachy to rated M? What's the swear limit? It's like one F
But
word
you
you're
have to
allowed
include the 7. But you have to like include the 7 deadly sinful words of television or something like that, right?
Is that allowed? Anyways, it doesn't matter. I just wanted to get this out because I feel like that this is along the same lines as all this generosity, right? It's funny that everybody got on this podcast bandwagon and now they're making all these things and all that. But I rest assured, when everything goes back to normal and you are looking for entertainment, Sweet Culture, Close Look will be here. We're not going anywhere. We're not leaving. That's why I chose Sundays, because nobody's doing anything Sundays. So I just want to make that clear. We're not bandwagoners here. I like to think so, anyways. I'm not. If you're a Canuck fan, well, you know you are. You know you
oh my god.
are.
Hockey is dead.
You know that's the best part of this COVID was that I could actually watch shows without hockey being interrupting my shows. You know.
Oh, and also, like, in terms of public transit, nobody's going to a BC Lions game. Nobody's going to a Canucks game. The congestion of traffic is dead. So it's like you're not worried about that stuff anymore, right? It's great.
Oh my gosh, you guys are really shitting on sports, aren't you?
Oh well, we don't. The only sport I come close to watching is soccer, and do you know why that is?
Yeah,
Alicia?
FIFA.
Do you know why?
Like, I'll watch
There,
that.
no, but because there's a logic to it. Like, listen, this 2 hours of my time, that is it. Give or take 5-10 minutes. That is it. It's not a period of 20 that could turn into an hour because there's so many timeouts and icings and touched me here, touched me there. You know, it's 2 hours. I don't care.
That's what I love about. That's what I like about. Oh my gosh, that sounds like soccer, to be honest.
Diving? You're talking about diving,
oh
right?
Yeah, diving. Well, see, but they just add time. It's like 5 minutes at max at the end of the game. That's
stoppage time. Yeah, that's right.
Stoppage time, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. I like when it drags on, to be honest. That's just me.
I just got
So
things
what
to
kind of
do.
sports do you like to watch then, Alicia?
I like basketball. I think I like basketball the most. Hockey is fun. Like, I like the environment, and I used to play hockey back in the day, like when I was younger.
Oh, I can imagine now. A cute little goaltender.
Yeah, goaltender. Yeah, my size, like, yeah. Yeah, I'll be like a little windshield.
Don't worry, once you get the pads, you look larger than life.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, and add a couple inches, like the skates and stuff. So,
yeah.
So did you play basketball in school?
Well, I tried out. Like, I played, but then the 1 year I tried out, I didn't get, like, I got cut, and then I never played again.
They told you weren't tall enough or something?
No. Oh, wow. Thanks, Dustin. No,
you're not,
you said
but
I sucked, so.
It's fine.
No, but I like watching basketball. It's like way more fun.
No, for sure. That's great. That's great. No, that's good to hear. I mean, I didn't know that you actually watch any sports either, right? So.
Well, basketball's kind of become
experience.
a wussy sport too. So I gotta be honest. Sometimes I'm like, when they dive like 15 feet back, I'm like, oh my god, did the wind knock you that far?
Oh man.
I know wrestlers who don't even bump that big, and they are physically getting hit. Okay.
The floor is glossy and slippery.
Come on.
I've seen videos on YouTube of compilation vids of like the worst dives in sports and history, stuff like that. And some of them were basketball dives. They were hilarious.
Yeah.
The guy wasn't even touched, and he just launches himself like 12 feet across the stage. I'm like, why?
It's entertaining though. it's so entertaining because the thing is like you don't have fists up in basketball like you do in hockey and stuff.
Mhm.
So it's a lot of like backhanded things that people will catch, that reporters catch, and then they're on Instagram and it's like, oh my god, you did that to him, like did you see that side eye, or like he said that.
Politics.
It's so funny, but
There's some
anyway.
divas out there, and it's always entertaining to watch the divas at play.
Anyways, it's good that you watch
totally.
sports. I mean, don't get me wrong; it's whatever. There's a sport for everybody.
I mean,
right?
I don't really like not religiously, but here and there for sure.
Yeah, same. Like,
yeah.
Sports are dead right now as we know it, so we'll see when it comes back after
Esports.
this
We
whole
still got
thing blows
esports.
over, right?
We still have esports.
Oh yeah, that's right, gaming. That's
So,
right, esports.
There's a thing that won't die. You can
What
watch
about,
FIFA and basketball esports.
On video game format, yeah.
That's funny.
And then like the commentators, and be like, "On the three, go!"
Okay, that you just see that.
That's
That's
it.
you spike the system, man.
I like killing the system. I like it. I get amused by it, clearly.
I don't.
You don't?
And my
Oh, hey, okay, I can finally share this thing. Right on.
What's a little late? William did say he's like, good news to him. Port Coquitlam Mail is reopened on Tuesday. So he's happy. So, if you're just
Port
tuning
Coquitlam
in,
what?
huh? Mail.
Mail?
I don't know. I don't know what he means. What do you mean,
Post
William? If you're still
service?
there, what do you mean?
The
Please
post
elaborate.
office?
Post office. Well, maybe post office. Yeah. Even though
I
I
thought
don't.
it was always open.
I thought so too, but maybe the offices themselves weren't open.
What do you mean?
Anyways,
like,
are you guys going
still
back to
send-
normal? Like, are you guys excited about everything reopening? Like, I know we touched on it, but like, are you guys excited?
I mean, I'm excited, but I don't want, like, I'm just kind of still scared for other people. I still think that we need to be careful. And I don't want that to affect how the public is publicing at large.
I love it. Publicing. Publicing. Remember the publicing with respect.
Okay, that is the word of the day, everybody. Publicing. I want you all
Yes.
to incorporate it into your lexicon. We're publicing today. We're publicing. Let's go public.
Public.
Let's go
Thank you
publicing.
guys. I love your enthusiasm, even
No,
if it's at
honestly.
my expense.
No, it's not at your expense.
We're gonna kill the
It's
ESL
actually
t-shirt.
it's to elevate the humor at this point, because you just came up with the best word of the day.
Well, yeah.
Best
But I
word.
mean,
Great.
your fears are warranted. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think that honestly, I don't know if this is gonna get any worse. I mean, they've come out with proof that doctors have been padding the numbers. Like, they were told to say, even though someone may have passed away from old age or influenza, like not even COVID, but like or hypothermia, whatever. I'm just throwing words out there. But they've been told to say COVID just to make the numbers seem bigger. And there are actually more recoveries than there are deaths. And the media is not saying
Yeah,
that
totally.
because it's easier to fearmonger everybody than it is to be, positive. So I do think that
Well-
like, if you just wash your hands and honestly practice good hygiene, I think we'll be okay. But I feel like that's the
what
problem.
I mean. Like, I don't want that to go out the window now that restrictions have been lifted,
Hey,
because
Alicia?
now the thinking is restrictions have lifted now,
Alicia,
so things are better.
Have you
so
been on a
let's not do
SkyTrain
that
system?
anymore.
Have you been on the SkyTrain?
No, but I've seen,
That was already out the
but
window.
I've seen everyone
okay?
outside. I've seen people outside, like on the beaches, like just on the weekends and stuff like that. And I don't see like any masks. I don't see the groups that are there aren't
Oh.
social distancing among each other. Maybe they're social distancing between groups, but not among each other.
No, you're right.
Anyway.
You're right. I've seen that too. In fact, actually, on my Snapchats, on my Instagram, I see stories of like people who I'm acquainted with who are like in social gatherings in close proximity. So it almost seems like these people are keeping distance from other small groups, but they're not keeping distance within themselves. So my perception of that is that they think that because their friends and they themselves are not sick, that they're okay still. Like, that's the mentality.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I still disagree with that. I'm with you with that one. Like, you don't have to, like, you can still, I don't know, you just don't have to sit next to like literally next to the person on the grass on the meadow. You know what I mean? Or a picnic or whatever. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. And I agree with you. And I think that maybe an additional month or two before they even actually consider actually small groups of 6 being close together like that. But whatever, you know
I
what?
don't know. You know
I'm
what?
less
I
concerned
actually kind of
about
disagree
my
with
own
that.
health.
I think that if I know Dustin hasn't been sick in fucking forever, then I know, right? I caught that? Yeah. Did you see that? In
Yeah,
forever,
I think we all did.
that I'm gonna sit next to him. I don't care. Like I haven't been sick and at all. I get it that maybe I could be a carrier, but what's that mean? One carrier to another carrier? What, we're gonna carry each other? Like I just don't. It
No,
doesn't make
yeah,
sense
you're
to me
right, Dan.
anymore.
You're right. You're right. You're
So
right. Because
because now you got
you're right.
people you
Because
got people staggered all over. Have you seen the roads and sidewalks? It's like people are just freaking everywhere, and
I do,
it's
I do think we still need to be on the defensive. I
yeah.
still think
Wash your
that, even
hands
though there might
and
be less.
don't cough on other
Yeah,
people. It's simple as that. It
but how
is
do you know
simple
the other?
as that.
Yes, okay, you can do that, but what about the other person? You can't make them do that, or even assume that they do that. That's what my issue is.
So you're
yeah,
gonna
Alicia's
so
somewhat right too. Because I would
so
walk on
look. Okay,
sidewalks, and yeah,
okay,
people
okay,
don't know
okay.
what they're doing.
Let's say this. You do stay cooped up in your room. You stay wherever you are. You don't go outside. Do you know what the harm in that is? Is that the bug could still become stronger because we're not exposing ourselves to anything. Do you know what I mean? Like, how does the immune system evolve? We expose ourselves to that thing. I mean, when they come out with the cure, the influenza stabby stab, you know, that's what we're putting into our bodies to fight this thing. And if, honestly, I gotta be like, if you're sick and you know you're sick, and you know you have immune deficiency or you don't breathe well because you have asthma, stay home. Find a way, do
Hmm.
something, just stay home. I just think that it's mean to keep this 90%, 95% of the population in, because the 5% of people who are ill, who are sick, are going outside and acting like everything is normal when it's not. And plus, like I said, just wash your hands. Cough into your arm. Simple practices. Like, I'm just so, I know you're just,
Yeah.
Alicia's
Grow
just
up
like,
in
I
life,
don't
baby.
agree with this at all, and that's completely fine. But I think that if we could, like, I get, like, it is a fine line, but I feel like if we stay in too long, that when we go out, the slightest sneeze is going to drop dead 10 people because our bodies haven't become used to what is happening out there. Because I hate to break it to you, the world still keeps churning. Whether or
Yeah, no,
not
I
we
agree. I agree.
whether or not we find a disease, guess what? The bugs, the parasites, the mosquitoes, the everything out there is still evolving. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just we
Yeah,
can't stay cooped up forever. Like
yeah,
that's what I mean. Live your
but
life.
those are
Like,
the people that have. But those are the people that have like taken quarantine as a literal stay indoors type of thing. I mean, the premise is that you can still go out. Like you can go in your backyard. You can go for walks. Like things like that. I think that's what like the general public has already
mhm.
been doing. But it's the ones that have like are either sick, right? You should really stay indoors,
Yep.
or the ones that have taken it to a literally too far and
Well,
just
but
don't go
that's what I
outside.
mean. But we have to. It's time for good judgment. But this is where I lose hope for, like, I
Yeah,
don't lose
good
hope for
judgment.
humanity.
Yes.
They just lack good judgment, humanity. And I'm sorry if you take offense to that, everybody, but it's true. You get an inch and you take an effing mile. Judge, be a good judge of yourself. Like, honestly, read the room. It's it's just I
Read that one.
like I
Sorry.
did.
Read that one paper that has pictures on what you should do. Like, you don't have to read words. Just look at the
Look at the
pictures,
pictures.
and you're good. I'm serious.
I don't read well, but I like the picture
you know
books.
it's funny. I did a film shoot this past week, and like 2 people out of 6 were the only ones wearing masks, and it was like,
Mm.
Well then, this is just kind of defeating the purpose. You know
Defeats the
how
purpose.
hard it
Yeah,
is to
it
do a
does.
shoot when everybody's trying to keep social distancing? Like she's like, okay,
You
going
can't.
to a close up. I'd go for oh no, not that close. We have to maintain. I'm like, well, this is not like fun for me. Like, it's just you gotta just let me do what I do. I'm not gonna breathe and cough all over the person that's acting. Like, there's a camera between me and that person, so the camera's gonna take the brunt of that. Before,
I
before it
agree.
gets
We do need a hive immunity because naturally we're all carriers of the
yeah,
virus, whether
we're curious
we've
of
suffered
everything.
symptoms or not. And I think that being in the company of people who have also carried the virus and have gone through the motions aren't risks to each other, but they're risks to those who haven't gotten it yet. That is the logic of this whole, I guess, argument in this situation is that for us, like me and Dan, or for any of us like who have been already in close proximity before and nothing's happened, you know what I mean? Because I'm gonna admit it to the stream, everybody. Guess what? Me and Dan broke protocol, and we hung out for a moment
So many
in
times.
person. We hugged each other. We embraced each other like brothers. And you know what happened? I'm still goddamn alive.
He's
And
alive.
he's alive. We're still standing. We're still breathing. So realistically speaking, it is based on how we take care of our hygiene.
Mhm.
That's bloody number one, because we shower, we shave, we hand sanitize, whatever the hell we're gonna do, and we can still function with those preliminary aspects in mind. I don't know why the fear of how one conducts themselves is in public. I think, like Alicia was saying,
Yeah.
you can't account for other people's actions and how they behave at
And
home.
you're right. That is, that's
Yeah.
where the danger. I mean,
That's
don't get
just
me
where
wrong.
it's
I
at,
don't
to
want
be
to sit. Trust me. Don't get me wrong. Going to a restaurant, like that's just not a pub. That's just not feasible, right? There are disgusting
yeah,
people
I'm
in
okay
there. I
with
mean,
that.
before this whole pandemic, I would go to pubs and I would see people leave the washroom without washing their hands. I can only imagine right now,
Mhm.
right? I do think that there needs to be some, but that's what I mean. I'm getting tired of taking care of idiots. I can't fix stupid. You know what I mean? Like it's just one of those things where I
I'd like to
want.
see an IKEA manual.
I know. I just yeah.
I'd like to see an IKEA manual on fixing stupid or something
It's-
like that.
so
because
I'm just-
IKEA manuals are so convoluted.
Yeah.
It's just perfect. But anyway,
And it's honestly it's the media's fault too. It's fear. It is truly fear mongering at this point. I mean the news does not want to let this up, and they do not want to give any
Yeah.
positive news whatsoever.
Yeah.
And
I hang out with my dad, and my dad works at a hospital. The fact that I would be too fearful to hang out with somebody who works in a hospital, you know what I mean? Like, and they take even greater precautions than we do here in a domestic life. Like, my dad is like covered head to toe when he's at work. So it's like,
Mhm.
and I'm not afraid to hang out with him after. You know what I mean? Yeah, he was in the hospital. Yeah, there are some COVID patients there. I'm still going to hang out with my old man. That's not going to stop me, because again, it's that whole thing. Like, if you've already been sick this year, you probably already gotten that thing. You know what I mean? And I started getting sick in
That's
January.
true. That is true. Yeah, I do think that some people already had
And I was
this.
sick
Yeah.
all month. I was sick all month. I never got hit so hard. You know what I mean? I had the
I
pneumonia thing
remember
and all
that.
that crap.
I remember that.
And after that, I recovered, and I haven't been sick since. So it's kind of like, I think, I got that virus before it was even diagnosed globally as a pandemic.
Yeah, I think a lot of people did.
And they didn't even have testing at that time.
See,
You know what
and
I
we're
mean?
still fine. That's what I mean, right?
Yeah.
That's what I mean. It's like a placebo, right? You take a pill
It is a placebo in a sense,
thinking
yeah.
that you're going to be super strong and super energetic, and you are, but because the mind believes it, right? If you think you're always going to get sick by every little thing that you do, guess what? You don't need COVID to get sick. You're going to get sick because your mind believes that you're going to get sick. And I do think that, again, this comes down to hygiene. I mean, I shower like 2 to 3 times a day, just, because.
Oh my gosh.
I wash my hands all the time, just because I'm not a germaphobe, but at the same time, I clean my phone every night. Has anybody ever thought? I mean, it's funny to see people with their masks on, and then they take them off and have their phone right against their face. And I'm like,
Mhm.
well, that's kind of
There's
defeats
a
the
lot
purpose.
of those
But
silly things
but it's the
happening, yeah.
small things that will make the huge difference, right? It's that's what I mean. It's I'm not, again, Alicia, I'm not trying to, keep you down or push you away. It's just that I just think that
It's okay, Alicia. We still love you.
Thank God.
She's like, I'm about to get transparent with you, Daniel, and I don't like you. Okay, right now it's just.
Oh my God. I love
Girlfriend,
you, but I don't like you right now.
girlfriend, what the F are you thinking?
So
What are
what
you
William
talking
meant.
about?
So what William meant, and I did misread it because the text is really small. He says there he meant the Coquitlam Mall will reopen Tuesday.
Oh,
that's
okay.
It
I
was a
do
typo.
think. I do think.
Autocorrect.
Look, I do think that enclosed areas is still a enter at your own risk, because the thing about being
Yeah.
outside with people is it's air, and it dissipates within the
Yeah.
air. If it was
Diffuses
casino type air movement inside malls, I'd be a little less worried, because casinos have this different type of air filtration system that's designed to keep you awake and keep the bad things out. So it's a different kind of system. But malls do not have that, and people are idiots. And it's funny how many times I ran, like going to Walmart, how many times I've accidentally run into people because they all of a suddenly stop in front of me, or they're anyways, it's just a lot of dumb things.
Yeah,
Just
that's what I'm saying is like a combination of an enclosed space and less restrictions equals like exactly what you're saying. So like just normal behavior that now is in like these enclosed places.
It equals
And that's
Yahtzee. Yahtzee. I was making a Yahtzee joke. It equals Yahtzee. Anyway, yeah, I totally dig it. You know what, Alicia? You deserve to drop the mic. Drop the mic. Go for it. Drop it.
Is that good?
the internet connection is so bad.
You gotta love it, right?
I don't. It hurts me.
No, it hurts him. Look at him. Look at him. Hey, remember the
You do
times
this when
we
you
were
go
doing
outside, people. This is what you do. Just do this when you go.
touch your face. Just touch your face all over it.
No, that they say don't do that.
And then spread it on the camera.
I do perfect hygiene.
Do you do perfect hygiene? Is that how we say it? Perfect hygiene. Anyways,
Yeah, that's how I
so
say it.
you know what's alarming is think about EB games in the mall, Dustin. You want to talk about close enclosed spaces? EB Games is like the closest of the close.
GameStop was getting in big trouble in the United States, right? Because GameStop is pretty much. Sorry.
It's COVID.
My
I'm trying to get back
mustache
into
hair
Dustin.
just somehow got into my tongue. All right. It happens. Facial hair tips 101. You get those rogue strands that just kind of detach from your face and just goes into your mouth.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, right. Totally. You know
Oh,
what I'm
we
saying.
lost. Oh, Alicia's back.
No, she's back. She's back. But yeah, GameStop, who owns obviously EB's Games Store, whatever. It's the American conglomerate of that whole company.
Mm-hmm.
GameStop got into some severe problems during the release of Animal Crossing and Doom Eternal. There was stores that were trying to make adjustments to their policies. So what would people do? They would go to the store. They'd wait outside. One of the representatives of the store would come out. You would drop the receipt on the floor, walk away. They pick up the receipt, proof of purchase, go back inside, get your game, come back outside, drop the game to the floor, walk away. You
That's
come
so
and pick
dumb.
up your purchase.
But they're gonna need
like
something
they were
like
thinking
that.
of these things, man.
Yeah. They're gonna need
It was
something
really
like that. I
stupid.
mean,
It was overkill.
Barbers are gonna open. That is just gonna be a S show, as far as I'm concerned. They're gonna have to.
I'm still waiting for my haircut, Dan.
Well, I could come over and cut it. It would be with it'll be like a buzz cut. Yeah.
I kind of, all I really want, yeah, I don't, I just want to get rid of this, pretty much.
Why?
I
What's
my brother's hair. It was pretty decent. So
what's
you
wrong?
guys
Just
Maybe
just
we
get
should
this
come
going.
over
Look
and
at this.
spread the COVID at your
This
place
is
and
what
get
you
a
need,
haircut.
Dustin. Just this.
definitely,
This is
yeah.
what you
Let's
need.
spread the love and the joy. Yeah, see? It's already past your eyes, dude.
Who needs to see, right? When driving.
No, I need a haircut too. It's been a year and a half.
I'm not gonna lie, I never realized how much I miss getting the trims. You know what I mean? The trim.
I usually have mental breakdown haircuts. Like something happens and I'm like, I need a haircut. New haircut near me, and I never got to do it. I never got
Anyways,
to do it.
okay, guys, we've stayed on long enough, and I think that we've It's like Monopoly. The longer
How
we
many
stay here,
halves do we
we're gonna
have?
hate
Do we
each
have
other.
three
by
parts?
the end of it.
Do we have 2 parts or 3 parts of this thing?
Just 2. So
Okay.
I'm gonna share. So look, if you just tuned in, hello, welcome to Close Look. Welcome to Sweet Culture. We did go live on Facebook, however, for some reason, something wasn't sharing. And so there's a good like 45 minutes that we did go live. Now I am going to reshare that video. It's not going to be live, but I do want you to check it out. Later, if you do check out in about a couple of days, I'm going to edit those 2 parts, putting it together. So you're going to see both of those put together. But please, if you don't want to watch the video and you think that's too convoluted, too crazy, please go to Spotify, find Close Look. You can find us find the link in the, I'm going to put it in a description somewhere eventually. Click that link, follow us on Spotify, and then listen to us audibly. I was going to say audibly.
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 Yeah.
And please, that helps us, builds awareness. So yeah, we're gonna end this show. You're coming near the end. If you're just tuning in, we're coming near the end to this podcast. So we're gonna do the thing that we usually do. I'm gonna come up with Alicia to say something at the end there. But
Yeah.
actually, Alicia, you can
Save
start
the
off
best
with
for last.
the views thing. So go ahead, say it.
Oh, okay. 1 second.
Wow, she needs a whole.
Oh yes. Okay. So, okay. I was just been having too much fun with you guys. Okay. So, the opinions that are expressed on this show do not reflect the opinions or values of Close Look Productions. They are our opinions and ours alone.
All right, Dustin, do your thing.
All right, and this program is sponsored by Surrey Honda on 152nd and Fraser Highway. For excellent service and the latest deals, check out surreyhonda.com.
And yes, if you have a cool story or an interview that I could talk, if you have somebody that could talk, that's really distracting, Dustin. I hear him listening to us. Dustin, that's really distracting. He's not even listening to me. Anyways, if you have somebody or a cool story or an awesome person that you think that would be a great person to be on the show, please do so. I would love to hear from you. You can find me on my own personal page, Daniel Westbay, or you could go to Close Look at www.closelook.ca, and the number and the email is there. Please reach out. We got some cool people coming up. I got some people. There is going to be a guest next week. So whether that will be on Facebook or YouTube, I have no clue. So that's for certain. And please, again, like I say, if you want to listen to us on the go, on because you don't like to look at us, that's fine. I get it.
Understandable.
You can listen to us on Spotify. Or also, if you want to be on our TV show, you have a cool story and you want it featured, you could please do so again at the same link, www.closelook.ca. We feature shows on both Shaw Multicultural Channel and the Omni Channel for a Hindi Punjabi side. So please reach out. We'd love to get to know you. And we have a tagline. I didn't know Close Look had a tagline. It's been so long, but we have one. Do you know what it is, guys? I kind of like it, actually.
And get inspired.
It's just get inspired. But
oh, sorry.
Oh,
Wow.
I was going to say eat your McNuggets.
I kind of want all of us to say it at the same time. So
okay,
can we try
let's
this?
Do it.
Dustin?
Oh, it's going to be a disaster.
So, Dustin, the term is get inspired. All right, guys? I want you guys on the count of 3, okay? So I'm going to go 1, 2, and I'm not going to say 3, but we're going to say it
at 3.
At 3, all right? Okay?
Okay, ready?
Okay. 1, 2, get inspired.
Jeez.
Oh my God. Okay.
It was so bad.
That was perfect.
That was terrible. Okay,
just
one more time. We're going to try one more time and then we're out of here. All right?
I don't think it works with the online aspect.
It will work. It will work.
You were really slow and I was fast, and then I had to go slow.
You were.
Just get inspired.
Yeah, get inspired. Yeah, get inspired. Yeah. It's just that I started hoping that you guys would catch up, but I guess not. Okay. Okay, ready? Okay, ready? 1, 2. Get inspired. That went a lot better.
Okay.
Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. On a separate note, if you do want to hang out with Dustin and I on the off days, Tuesdays and Thursdays, we do stream from 4:30 till 7:30. Right now, our game of the choice is Predator Hunting Grounds. Fun time. Great community,
Maybe some
fun time.
Apex Legends because I just
Yeah.
recently installed that again.
Anyways, that will all be discussed on one of those 2 days. So, anyways, if you want to check out me and Dustin, what else we do, that will be the place to check out. Please visit the YouTube page for Close Look, which is Close Look TV Productions. Anyways, one of those 2. Thank you. We'll see you next week at 7 p.m. Watch out for the link, whether or not we're doing it on Facebook or YouTube. I appreciate each and every one of you. Guys, stay on for a bit. I'm just gonna play some music, play us out, and then yeah. So mute your mics,
Should we
guys.
dance?
No, mute. Well,
Oh.
I mean, you could, I guess. I didn't say leave the chat.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, these guys. You could dance if you want. Dance, Alicia. Dance, monkey. Dance. Dance, Alicia. Dance. Dance. She's waiting for the music. It says a delay. They can't see what I see.
She's probably playing her own music right now.
She is. Oh, there we go. She is. Have a good night, guys.